Last night, my German brother-in-law comes over. He's recently single. He was in a long-term relationship. Now that he's single, he is ready to mingle. He's technically challenged, so he is not very familiar with using his iPhone or being online. He asked us if we can help him create a Tinder and a Bumble account. Although he's not familiar with any of these apps, but because they're so popular, he knows about it, but he doesn't know how to go about creating a profile. Just as a disclaimer, I've never been on a dating app in my life. I think all these dating apps started around the time that I was already in a committed relationship, so I never really had experience with dating apps. I've seen the dating app in the USA because a couple of our friends in the USA are on these apps, so we've kind of seen like how it functions and what goes on. But here in Germany, I've never seen the app. So part of me was actually very curious what kind of profiles there would be of people here in Germany. So we create the profile and he starts going through the women that are looking also in the radius that he defined in his profile. Let's just say that my mind was blown because up until this point, my view on German dating culture was completely different. But I will come back to this later because I think it's really interesting how the German dating culture is evolving and changing. It's something we gotta talk about. The dating culture in USA, I would say it's pretty much what you see in TV shows and what you see in movies. It's a very casual dating culture. Everything that went on in the club culture or bars kind of just transferred into how everything kind of functions on a dating app. Obviously, there are a little differences here and there, but overall, dating culture hasn't really changed so much. And although the US dating culture is very casual, there is a structure to it. And it's very different from the dating culture in Germany. In USA, if you like someone, whether it's out in the public, at a restaurant, at a bar, at a club, you just walk up to that person and you tell them, hey, I think you're cute or you're hot or, whatever it is. So in that terms, it is actually quite open. So after you've established that you like this person and they're also interested, so this kind of attraction is somewhat mutual, you first start hanging out. I guess maybe you could call it like a casual date. So it's not really a date, but you kind of just hang out. So the first phase to dating is hanging out. If that goes well, then you start dating. And if the dating goes well, then you become exclusive. So you become boyfriend, girlfriend, 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 whatever rocks your boat. And during this period of dating, there's also somewhat of what a lot of people call it game playing. This is just part of the dating culture in the USA where you don't answer the text right away because you don't want to come across desperate. So all these games, I would say, are quite normalized. Not everyone does this, but I would say majority of the people in the USA do go through this phase. And because of this kind of like game playing, generally what lacks in the US when it comes to dating is clear communication, which could potentially be a demise of a possibly good relationship. When you compare the general American dating culture, it is basically a reflection of how the apps function, except now it's a little bit more elevated. So rather than entering a bar or a club and having, X amount of people, now you have so many profiles that you look at, but the base of that casual dating culture is still there. When I compare this to the German dating culture, it is very different. Now, I've never dated in Germany, but I have secondhand experience through my friends here in Germany. And based on what I've seen, the German dating culture is pretty straightforward. If you like someone, you start dating them, it is understood that this is going to be an exclusive relationship unless you mention that this is going to be just a casual hookup type of relationship. So more often than not, if you start dating someone in Germany, it is a mutual understanding that this is going to be an exclusive relationship. Another thing I've noticed, which is very different here in Germany, is that both men and women are more on a equal playing ground. So in the US, it's still somewhat expected where the man will pick up the check, pay for, the first date, second date, third date. So the man is basically playing that I'm taking care of you, this is my girl, which many of my European friends think that this is very outdated. And here in Europe in general, it is more of a equal playing ground. So essentially, man is not the caretaker of the woman. Woman can take care of herself. So it's more of a mutual 50-50 type of relationship from the get-go. Although I haven't had experience of dating while in Germany, I've experienced it through the eyes of my friends. One thing I noticed, which I think it's actually a pretty huge deal. This could only be my experience and the types of friends that I have in the USA versus the types of friends that I have here in Germany. But I've seen a common thread in USA versus what that common thread looks like here in Germany. Out of all the friends that I have in the USA, I only know of 2 couples that are happy in their relationship. And all of the remaining friends, they're either in a relationship that they're not happy in, or they are divorced and still single, or they're single because they're unable to find that perfect match for themselves. Perhaps this is due to this individualistic society that we live in the USA. Although I love certain aspects of this individualism, when it comes to a relationship, I think it creates a little monster in all of us. We start expecting too much. We hold ourselves to this certain level, and we want the other person, that we want a relationship with, to also match up to that level, which can be unrealistic. I want to say actually it's always unrealistic, because no one will ever match to whatever the expectation that you have, because this is you as a person. So no 2 individuals, no matter how alike they are, they will never be the same person. So that chance to love someone, to get to know someone for who they are, kind of gets lost. Essentially, the authenticity of a relationship, I think, gets lost in this translation of, well, you have to be, match this criteria. I think that's a huge issue why so many relationships fail in the USA. On the contrary, I think the German way of approaching relationships is very different. You kind of want to get to know the person and understand where they come from. So you look at their life in a separate box, basically. You're in a separate box. You're not combining the 2 together, because you want to know that person as an individual, who they are. Not so much what they bring to the relationship, but what are the qualities that you like of this person. So you're really getting to know this person rather than expecting them, what do you bring to the table? But you're looking at, what do I like about this person? So I think that approach, in my opinion, is a healthy approach in approaching a relationship. I mean, it worked for me. I went through 3 relationships in my life. The 3rd one stuck because it was a German. As soon as we started dating, it was an immediate recognition for me. This was very different than the American way of approaching a relationship. For me, it was something that resonated with me. And I knew from the very beginning that this is what's going to work for me. But we're all individuals, so what works for me will not work for another person. Maybe for someone living in Germany, the American dating culture is more exciting and fun, so the American culture may work better for them. Now that we've talked about the differences between the American dating culture and the German dating culture, going back to last night, this is where my mind was blown. When we finished creating the profile for him, we went in and he started looking at, who was available around this area. Let's just say there are a lot of was out there. I'm very open-minded, but even I was like, what is this? The German dating culture that I know of, this was so polar opposite. Literally, my jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And just to be clear, I'm not saying this to be judgmental or saying anything is wrong with this. Absolutely not. The reason why my jaw was on the floor and I was so shocked at this is because it was so unexpected. When it comes to the app dating culture, I think it comes across very similar to how the American dating culture is. Casual hookup culture is very prominent, but I don't see this in real life in Germany. So then it got me wondering, are the dating apps bringing the American dating culture to rest of the world slowly? Or maybe people feel safer online to come out with their casual dating needs, I guess. And going through this app last night with him for about 30 minutes, I think we were on there. I don't think personally I could survive the current dating culture. I almost want to say that if I was single right now, I think I would just remain single. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyways, let me know what your viewpoints on this is. The dating culture, is it changing in Germany, in Europe in general? And if you're watching from the USA, what is your experience with dating culture on these apps? Is it positive? Is it negative? I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.